Recently, the Federal Reserve Bank of New York found that approximately 60% of minority and women owned businesses are considered at risk or distress. We also read that many of them use their personal funds. Our committee has held hearings to examine the cause and impact of racial wealth disparities. To our two chamber leaders of the African American Chamber and the Hispanic Chamber, how does the racial wealth gap impact access to emergency funding for minority owned businesses during periods of financial challenges as we're going through now with COVID 19? So that will be to the two of you. And then, Ms. Ross, do you believe the racial wealth gap impedes the success of minority and women owned businesses? So I will start with you, Ron Budsby, and I'll then go to you, Ms. Castillo.
Thank you for the question, and thank you again for allowing us to give our testimony. That is a great question, and as we talk to our business members across the country, the number one concern that they all have.
Could you speak up a little bit, Mr. Budsby?
Yep. Thank you again for allowing us to have this testimony. As we talk to our members across the country, the number one concern that they all have is access to capital. There was a survey that was done that said that the average Black family had roughly $400 in savings for an unexpected emergency. Those same homeowners, and many of them are now business owners. And so you are placing the burden of having excess capital to get them through tough times with very limited resources collectively. The second thing, the access to capital, the cost of that capital is extremely expensive. The average African American is paying twice the rate of our white peers, and only about 33% of our businesses actually had a line of credit. So when we were
I'm going to have to interrupt you to go to the other two because I only have a few minutes left. So I'll go to the next witness. Thank you. Ms. Castillo. I'll go to you, Ms. Ross, because my time is ticking down. So, Ms. Ross?
Yes. Can you repeat the question, Chair Beatty?
Yes. Do you believe that the racial wealth gap impedes the success of minority and women-owned businesses?
You know, it comes all back to education, and if without the opportunities to educate minority and women-owned businesses, it does put us at a hindrance in terms of continuing to move forward. And if we have the opportunities, we've definitely shown that we deserve to be at the table and be in the room. But without those opportunities, and for people not thinking that we should be, then that continues to create the problems that we have.
Thank you. To all of the witnesses, and we'll go with you, Ms. Carrington, and then go backwards. I'm very proud that all of you talked about disparities and the challenges. And I was really pleased to hear you all mention the small businesses, the gigs, the 1099, et cetera. Early on, I went to the House floor and advocated for those, and I would like to believe it had an impact on our second round of funding. The question is, what would you say to corporate America and to banks right now in this space we're in? People are really putting more value. Majority companies are coming to us with money. Maybe some of it is guilt dollars. What would you say to them to help put more African American and other minority businesses into the hopper? Ms. Carrington.
Well, I would say to, put your money where your mouth is generally, and to really make a concerted effort to outreach to this community and to look at, the process by which you're outreaching and any type of the systems, the application process, whatever that you may have for accessing capital, potential loans, potential dollars, and to simplify it as much as possible, right? So one size does not fit all, and you really have to meet the needs of these entrepreneurs where they are. And a lot has to be simplified and understanding, that they are not all the same businesses.
Okay, we'll try you again, Carmen, if you're unmuted. Is there anything in 10 seconds you'd like to add?
Yeah, pretty much. I totally agree with Karen. In our community, only 3.7 billion PPP went to our community, and the average loan was about $54,000. So I would just put Thank you.
Thank you. I like that. I'm gonna end with put your money where your mouth is. Don't worry to the other witnesses. We will have plenty of other questions coming from my colleagues.